Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. For this week's episode, Megan and I thought it'd be fun to run through our algorithms on like all of our different social media apps and like let you guys know what our algorithms
What
show
do they
us.
look like right now?
And then also like talk about what it means for just like who we are as people.
So, we're going to cover TikTok, Twitter/X, Facebook, maybe some YouTube, maybe Pinterest a little bit, Instagram. And I mean, we just recently like went through and we were like, what's popping up?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's just
you
like
can see if
interesting.
it's the same stuff as us. You can see if it's completely different.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting because like obviously there's just like in general with pop culture like stuff going on that I feel like fills everyone's feeds. But then also like what is it that like is super niche that fills up your feed that people are like, yeah, interesting, that says like
I
a
feel
lot
like
about
you can also have like different personas depending on the app. Like it's not like the same things popping up on every single one of your apps. Different platforms are meant for different info, and so
which is also cool because it shows like you might not have the same things on every single platform.
You're multifaceted
because you interact with different things.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. We'll cover all the things. But first we're gonna do our weekly spotlights and then our book catch-ups and whatever else we want to talk about.
Oh, we wanted to talk about Vegas as like a
Sierra
fun
was like, this was
aside.
it
was like a funny thing that I wanted to talk about, but we'll get to that. My weekly spotlight is yesterday. Megan and I and our grandma and our mom went up to Boone. It's about a 40-minute drive from Des Moines, and there's like this Boone and Scenic River Valley. What's it called?
Yeah,
Railroad.
Scenic Valley Railroad.
Basically, they just have like train station and stuff up there, and you can like ride passenger trains. It's not like it's not really a passenger train, I guess, in the sense that you don't go anywhere. It's like you go on the train and you come back, and it's like just for the train ride. And we hadn't done it forever
ago.
You have to admit though, like we have ridden trains. Like
it's
like
that's a good excursion to do.
Like
if you have
2 years
been,
ago.
I do not know the town that the Royal Gorge is in. I don't recall.
Canyon City.
Canyon City.
That's
if you're
the
ever
best
in Colorado,
I've ever
you
been
need
on.
to do it's expensive. It is, but you need to do the dinner train ride through the Royal Gorge. It is incredible.
It's gone viral on TikTok, and I was like, well, shoot, I should have made a video when I was doing that.
There are options for like the Boone train place to like do different meals or different things, but like we just kept it simple and did like the ride along, so that was it.
Mm-hmm. As like a little aside to like other stuff related to the excursion that we did, if you want to call it that. So like obviously we got on the train car, and all the seats are initially facing like the same direction, kind of like you get on a school bus, and like it's just rows of seats. And so we had seen a couple of the other cars, because it was like different cars with different interiors and stuff, that some of the seats could swivel, so you could like turn two seats that were facing forward, like you could flip the first one around.
So
it was like
group of four.
And so we got into our car, and I was like, oh, I don't know if you can like do it with these seats. They looked a little bit more heavy duty. And we were sitting down. Everyone in our car was also like sitting down facing one direction. And then I was like just examining the seats across the aisle from us, and I was like, it looks like, I'm no engineer, but it looks like this lever on the seat back could go back and forth. And I'm like, and I think that the seat might flip around, because it was weird since the seats had cushions. The other ones in the other cars didn't have cushions. So I was like, oh, it makes sense that they flip around. This one had a cushion. So I was like, initially, I was like, well, how would it flip? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, Megan, do you think that the seat swips? Do you think the seat flips and can go back to make a group of four? And Megan was like, I don't know. So grandma and our mom were sitting in front of us.
Like, get up.
Well, I was like, lean forward, and I pushed on their seat back, and it started moving. So I was like, stand up, ladies. And then we flipped it around, and then everyone else in the car started like flipping their seats around. So I was like, okay, I started something. They literally came by and told us later that we could like flip our seats around. Mm-hmm. So it's not like no one would have figured it out, but I did feel smart.
I will say, I was expecting, I don't know if you like lost the vibe and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore, but like I thought we were trying to get some Instagram pictures.
Well, here's the thing.
And
we got off the train. I didn't really think the vibe was on the train. So I wasn't trying to take pictures really on the train, because the train was just like old and like you couldn't see outside from anywhere. So I thought we would get off of the train and like take pictures, but then you guys were all beelining to the car. So I was like,
where?
Like by some fall foliage by the front of the train.
See, we didn't communicate that before.
And so I literally like I pulled the camera out and I was like walking behind you all. And then I was like, okay, never mind. I put it back in my bag.
we didn't communicate that.
Yeah.
I was thinking on the train, and you weren't matching my vibe, and so I was like, okay, I guess
No, I literally took a nap on the train.
Yeah. I guess I'll say that's my weekly spotlight as well. I don't even want to talk about the Iowa football game, so we're not going to talk about the Iowa football
end up
game.
talking about it because of my algorithm. No, because of my algorithm, we'll have to talk about it.
Well, we'll talk about it later. Otherwise, in terms of like some book updates, I am reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I think I started it last time we talked, and I'm hopefully going to finish it tomorrow maybe. And I'm enjoying it.
What book would that be? Like, what number book would that be for you?
I'm doing quite well.
You've already met your reading goal, right?
Yeah.
You said it. You always said it lower than me, and I'm like, you should read it.
Is what my goal for the year was.
Like, have you not read? Like, last year you read more books than me, didn't you? And then
maybe.
I was like, well, why don't you set
50 right now.
My goal is 50 for the year, and I'm on track for that.
Hoping to finish it tomorrow. I will say I'm enjoying this one more than I was the first book, and I am liking Reasoned more than I liked Tamlin the first book, because like you figure out more of what's behind the scenes. But I'm like not getting like any sort of like 5-star feeling. I feel like this is still just going to be like a 4-star book unless anything crazy happens at the end. And I foresee myself probably continuing the series. But I really thought this was going to be like, it was either going to be like the launching point or like we're stopping. But I feel like I'll just like keep going when I feel like it.
And maybe you've seen this too. I feel like maybe you would have. This is all based on algorithm stuff too. But I've seen like book recommendations pop up on my TikTok about like what order you should read the Sarah J. Maas. Is it Maas or Maas? Sarah J. Maas universe. And so people say you should read like the first 3 ACOTAR books and then take a break from ACOTAR because they're like after the first 2, I think it's a novella that gets like a bunch of different POVs, and then like the last one or like most recent one is from like the sister's point of view.
That's what I thought. I switched at some point.
And so people are saying like read the first 3 because those are all like I think from Feyre's point of view, and then switch to the Throne of Glass series. And I've seen,
are they the same universe?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. And I've seen people say, so Assassin's Blade from Throne of Glass is a prequel. So it's not technically the first book. The first one's Throne of Glass. But there's like debate about if you should read Assassin's Blade first or if you should wait. I've seen it both ways. So you can decide, you know, if you want to delve into that.
I don't know, like, if I'm quite, the idea of jumping into like, okay, get halfway through this and then jump into a full another series.
Then people say to do the entire Throne of Glass series. Then finish ACOTAR and then read the 2 Crescent City books.
Like, I think this is more than I'm willing to bite off right now. So
it's just something to consider after you potentially read the 3rd book.
I think it'll be interesting. Like sometime within the next couple of months, I'm sure I'm going to read Fourth Wing as well. And so I'm curious to see like what I think of that book and potentially that series. Do you know it's going to be a 5-book series?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how do you even decide as an author, like, this is going to be, and I'm sure she just like is like, this is the plot of this one, like generally, and she's like, it's going to be 5 books. But I'm just like, how are you going to decide it's a 5-book series? But
I will be curious because I wonder if you'll read Fourth Wing before I start ACOTAR. I'd be curious to see like which one you
got lots of books you could read from me.
I know,
lots and lots. Do you have any like, you kind of know what books I have in my room, right?
Yes.
Any idea of like, do you think you're ever gonna reach for any?
I was thinking of doing the Love Wager at some point, since that's like just a single standalone that you liked.
Ever gonna dive into any of the?
I probably will. They're just like all so long.
They are.
I was going to. There's a couple books that were on Kindle Unlimited before that I was going to read, and then like now they're not on Unlimited. I was going to do Magnolia Parks, not on Kindle Unlimited anymore.
You know what? Actually, I had it on my library, and then I feel like I might have been like, I'm not going to read this anytime soon, and so I might have returned it to get a different book. Let me see.
And then The Whisper Man is one that I've had on my TBR for quite a while, and it was at one point on Kindle Unlimited. It's not anymore. And I feel like there's probably one other book that I can't remember that I no longer have was at one point on Kindle Unlimited. And then 19 Minutes, also not on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh.
Because I was like, I'll just read that because like then it knocks off a book on my physical TBR, but then I can read it on my Kindle.
Yeah.
And
you guys will laugh. Today, so I have the physical copy of A Court of Mist and Fury. And
do the titles make sense?
No.
Okay.
Like, no, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea. Obviously, like, there's different courts, but, like, they're not called that. there's like the spring court, the autumn court, like a bunch of different
so it doesn't
courts.
mention anything about thorns or roses.
Maybe like
or Mr. Fury.
Or no, not really. So I had a physical that I went to this morning. It was like before work. I scheduled it for 7 o'clock so that I, would get it done bright and early. And I was kind of like, okay, this probably isn't going to take that long. Like I was probably going to be done by like 7:30. I was like, and then I don't usually get into work until like 8:15, 8:30. So I was like, I need something to kill my time. So I was like, I have two options. I might be tired. I could go back to my car and just like sleep, honestly. Or I was like, I could bring my book and maybe have like a little reading session this morning. And so I was right. I did finish my physical pretty early, but then I had to go get labs done in a different part of the building, which there's a waiting room, and I had to wait to get my labs done. So I was like, okay. And also, I wasn't going to bring my book in, but I forgot my book. I left, and Ciera was like, you left your book here. So I was like, dang it. So I was in the waiting room, and I was kind of debating, like, before I went into my physical, I was like, when I come back out, like, I could sleep, or I could buy the Kindle version of the book to read on my phone. And so I was in the waiting room at this point, had nothing to do, and I wasn't going to have time to, like, really go back to my car to do anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the Kindle version of the book. And so that's what I did. So now I have it on my phone, which I've been reading since I've gotten back home because it's just easier to read. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to do this for every book, but, like, with a dog, it is so much easier to read on my phone or on a Kindle than a physical book.
It's just for now.
So now I have it on here. I can read it more, like, on the go, and it's a long book, so that's kind of helpful because I feel like I haven't been getting my reading in as much as I would like. So should finish it tomorrow, and yeah.
And see what you read next. Do you have any idea what you want to read next?
I'm kind of debating, like the Abby Jimenez book I have.
Oh,
could be.
I've asked you that like 20 times, and you've said that every single time. So I don't know why I keep
the
asking
one I'm kind of leaning towards. Otherwise, Caught Up is the new release for the
Windy City
series. I was like, what is that series called?
So
I have it. It's queued up. It's ready to go on my library, but I don't know when I'm going to read it.
My book update. I DNF'd Book of Night. I don't know if I told you guys that or not. Or we also like tried recording this episode yesterday, so I might have said that.
Yeah.
So this might be the first time you're hearing this. Book of Night by Holly Black. It's one of our Book of the Month books, and you guys know probably that every physical book that we have, I feel compelled to read it because otherwise I'm like, well, why do we have it then? And so I have two more books for our Book of the Month stack that we have, Book of Night and The Hacienda. And so I was like, okay, Book of Night's shorter. It's also like I've been putting it off because I think of every single physical book that I have, I think it's the lowest rated on Goodreads, like of anything. So that's not a good sign. It's also urban fantasy, I think, which is like, now I can't say that I dislike fantasy because I've read a few fantasy books at this point and generally liked them. But like, I wouldn't say fantasy is like my genre. Yeah. And like urban fantasy.
What's hard is when I read fantasy, even if there's a romance subplot, I'm just like, there needs to be more.
Urban fantasy just like kind of turns me off for whatever reason of like, it's like real world, but like snot. I say like snot, but not. And I just could not get into it. The main character was not interesting. The plot was not interesting. And I was like, you know what, Megan? Because I got to
I'm going to live by your rule.
It got to the point where I was like 50 pages in. And I was like, also I like felt okay about it because I didn't buy this book. And so it's not like I wasted money.
Yeah.
Book of the Month sent us these books. And so I was like, I'm 50 pages in. I'm like literally trying to like get through a singular chapter at a time to like make my way through this book.
Life is too short.
And so I was like, you know what?
Do not like.
I'm going to put this one away. Because also I'm trying to meet my reading goal. And I only have so much time left. And I figure at some point, if I never pick it up again, which I realistically probably won't, we could do like an unhaul at some point to go donate some books to Half Price Books. Then I can get these books out of my sight. Not have to worry about it. You still have Crime and Punishment tucked in your drawer.
I know. It's waiting to go to Half Price Books. And so I got like 100 and something pages into it, but I was like, I can't keep.
But at least I can say I tried it. And so like, at least I tried it, and it's not just like sitting there anymore, and I'm not compelled to finish it.
One of these days, one of you needs to convince me to read a Jane Austen book, and if so, what one?
I read Emma.
Because part of me's like,
have you read it?
I don't know. I'm just like, I maybe have, but I also feel like they were like shortened versions or like not the full thing. Or
I definitely read the regular book. I think I read that in 7th grade for like a book club thing. It was okay from what I remember. I don't know. I've heard, I mean, Pride and Prejudice is like the OG romance book, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
The OG.
Anyway, since I DNF'd that one, I was like, I need to read something quick and fast. And so I turned to, and I also didn't want to buy anything, and so I went to Freida McFadden because I remember I read The Housemaid, and that was pretty quick and easy and like a decent thriller. So I read Never Lie, and I gave it 4 stars. Pretty good. Read it in like 2 days, so like, you know, that quick and fast pace that I needed. And I was like trying to think of twists and stuff. I didn't think of like the exact twist. It was
Did
like,
you like The Housemaid more?
Probably, but it was like still a good twist. I didn't feel like cheated out of like an ending I either didn't see coming, like where it was like unfair, you know, and like, oh, how would I have ever seen that? Like a thriller has to be the perfect blend of like, you could have seen it, like you're trying to piece it together. Like I like to try and piece it together and still get it wrong, but it like still makes sense. Where I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Versus like if you read something, you're like, that. How was I literally ever supposed to get that? Perfect Marriage. I still technically give that one 4 stars, but like the ending doesn't make any sense. Like The Perfect Marriage is one where it's like, that doesn't make sense with what I just read. Anyway, now I'm currently reading Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, I think. I'm literally 2 chapters in. I'm struggling right now because I'm only having time to read at night, and I'm so tired when I go to bed that like I'm literally like trying to keep my eyes open to finish a chapter, and so I feel like it's not helping with my like continuity of understanding of what's going on right now. But I'm literally 2 chapters in, so it's like, it's okay so far. I don't know what to think of it.
Anyways, Ciera wanted to talk about Vegas briefly.
Okay. So,
maybe other pet owners, dog owners will relate.
I think they will. So, Megan and I, having had Vegas now this is going on week 8, I think. We've developed, obviously, like, he's a dog. He can't speak for himself. But we try to, like, include him in our conversations and, like, give him a personality of sorts. And he has his own personality.
And we got him right around the start of football season.
We also, like, try to personify him. And so, like, it's been this running joke where Vegas is, like, Iowa football's offensive coordinator or, like, play caller. And so, like
it mostly started as, like, we were watching, like, Iowa's football game and, like, they were probably doing horrible. And we were just like, Vegas, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just blaming it on him for whatever reason. And so it's been this running joke now. We do it for, like, other football games, too. But, like, mostly Iowa football. And so, like, if we win a game, we're like, oh, like, we'll talk for Vegas. And, like, what we always do is that, like, if he's, like, taking a nap or something, which he, like, tends to do, in the evenings when football is sometimes on. And so, like, we'll be, like, if we're playing badly, we'll be like, Vegas, what are you doing? And then we'll, like, talk for him and be like, I was asleep. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And so it's just been making us laugh. And I feel like other dog owners or, like, pet owners can probably relate. And I feel like everyone kind of makes a personality for their pet and, like, speaks for them. And the other bit that we have,
Vegas does.
That's his day job, is that he's a coach for football. His other job is that he's like a secret spy.
This started from when we got him his first harness. It was like a black harness, and he just looked like a little spy with it on.
And so, like, we've been calling him Agent Vegas is, like, his spy name. And then he has, like, this stuffed alligator
that he, like, sleeps with, and it's, like, his biggest toy, so it's kind of like his buddy.
Yeah. And so that's his, like, spy helper, and so that's Agent Al, the alligator. And so, like, sometimes I'll, like, go get Agent Al from his crate at night and, like, take him out, and they're going on a secret mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had to share. Oh, also, just, like, other dog updates related to today. We're also vlogging this week, and so some of the stuff that we're talking about now will be in a vlog. But we took him on another car ride just because, like, every once in a while we like to take him on an outing. And so
he's adjusting to his seatbelt well.
Yeah.
Really likes with the window open.
The harness that we were just talking about is way too small for him now. Like, it was literally cutting off his, like, breathing. And so we went to Starbucks to get him a pup cup and, like, also just practice, like, sitting outside, having him, like, chill while we just relax and sit outside. He did okay with that. He didn't, like, bother anyone, which was good. He just, like, kept wandering around. But he didn't, like, bark or anything, so that's good. Got a pup cup. He loved it more than the whipped cream.
He really liked the plastic cup.
One thing about him is that he just loves anything he's not supposed to chew on. So, anyway, that all went fine. Then we went to Menards. Megan got a harness for him that like actually fit him.
They were kind of limited on what they had.
And it was on my Instagram story. If you like follow me on Instagram, then you would have seen that. It looks so silly on him because of how big it is. Like not very, big.
Like, it's just like very
it covers
wide
a lot.
And like, you know, spreads out the different pressure, so it's like not squeezing him.
But it looks
kind
of funny. It's also like a blue color that I wouldn't have, you know, initially picked out. I like my neutrals.
And he can't be Agent Vegas with that silly blue harness on.
Right. And so
I don't know, we'll keep both.
Yeah, I got another harness. Like I went to Target when we got back, and then I got him a black harness. And so now he has 2 harnesses, but they both fit him now. I figure like 2 harnesses. We might need 2 harnesses at some point. Anyway, so he did well with our little outing, and I think that's it as far as dog updates. Okay. Is it time to get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Okay, what app do you want to talk about first?
Whichever one's on my note first.
Fair enough.
I had TikTok as my first one. And so, to be honest, it was hardest, I feel like, to classify what my TikTok algorithm is, because I feel like it's a lot of different things. And it's kind of like the most like pop culture one, but it's also just like entertainment. And I have I don't know if I can like pinpoint what category of entertainment is on my TikTok.
Sometimes it's hard because I feel like I could like list trends that I've seen on my TikTok right now. But like that's kind of the beauty of it, is like trends that I see, I'm like, okay, well you guys have probably seen that. And sometimes it's like, oh no, like I haven't seen that. So I can talk through like the trends that I'm seeing also on my TikTok with like, maybe you guys are like, yeah, everyone's seeing that trend, or like
you just made me think of a trend.
Maybe people are like, oh, I have not heard of that at all. Because there's times where we're talking to each other, or like I feel like Haley will talk to me,
and I'll be like,
Haley's like, well, this trend,
we're
and
on
I'm
different
like,
TikToks.
huh?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And so, for pop culture stuff, I'm getting a lot of Travis Taylor stuff, and that's honestly like that's across like most platforms.
Well, here's what I said. Because I also had little like asides, I guess, of like what I wanted to say about the platform and like the algorithm itself. TikTok, I said, is very relevant like to the day-to-day stuff. Like if there's news about something, like it's gonna be on TikTok. Someone's gonna have posted about it. If there's new Taylor and Travis pics, like they're talking about it. Even if they're just like reacting to it, there's nothing else to the TikTok except for like showing. But then I also feel like I kind of classified like, do I think this algorithm is accurate to like who I am and what I want to see? And I think TikTok is one of the best algorithms.
Oh, it is.
Of an app.
Because you and I have said TikTok is pretty much the only app. Twitter's like Twitter X is debatable at this point, of like most apps you follow certain creators or people that you know that you want to see specific stuff. TikTok, I follow a couple people, but like I go on TikTok to go through my For You page. Like I don't go on to like look at who I'm following, because I don't really follow that many people. And so like it's honestly surprising me. I see like people are like, oh, like I follow this person on TikTok, and like I go through my following tab and I'm like, I don't do that. Because if TikTok wants me to see it, then like I will see it.
Yeah.
That's how much I trust the algorithm.
So speaking of my TikTok algorithm, the most like prevalent thing I had on here was like the Travis and Taylor stuff. And honestly, like I still can't get enough. Like it needs to keep popping up on my For You page. There was more new content today, which I saw first from someone's Instagram story. But like when I saw the new picture of like her giving Travis like a kiss on the cheek, I literally was like in my car,
jaw dropping
in my car, like, oh my God. And I don't know what it is about their relationship that has so many people obsessed with it, because like I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but like I am living for this relationship, and I know everyone is, so like I'm not unique, but it's just like it's so like, who could have put this on their 2023 bingo card? And like it's working, like they're together
for whatever reason.
Like,
it just feels so not real.
It doesn't seem real, but like it seems like it's working so well for them. I don't know.
I hope it continues.
I hope the best for them, and I am living for any and all content. So,
a trend that has been on my TikTok is like the, what is it, like it's like the picture with like dogs and stuff usually, like
that's still on yours?
Sometimes.
To
What
be
does it
loved
say?
is to be changed.
Yes. I see that one quite a bit. It makes me sad.
I also like, this was just more of an aside and like a rant, but I think TikTok Shop is ruining TikTok a little bit. Because everyone's just like, first of all, I don't even get what TikTok Shop is. Can you literally just link whatever you freaking want and then make commission off of it?
I don't really know.
And
either.
if so, why is it called TikTok Shop? Because aren't you just like posting links? Second of all, it's driving me insane because everyone's just now trying to like become a little affiliate marketer, like making money off these commissions. Who, like, why? And they'll make TikToks just like saying, if your girlfriend loves you, like, you better get her this, or if you love your girlfriend, you better get her this sweatshirt.
What
Or,
I don't like is that it
it'll
doesn't
be
even like reference the shop. I'm like, it's a video of like just a street and it's talking about a sweatshirt, and I'm like, what sweatshirt?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's a shop link.
It's driving me insane, and it's making me mad.
You know what else was interesting? So I have on the top of my TikTok, it's like the STEM tab, the following tab, a shop tab, and a For You tab.
And they put that shop tab right in between the For You and the following.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Ugh.
But it was funny because I saw a TikTok of this girl saying like, my boyfriend has a STEM tab and I have a shop tab, and like I guess she didn't have both.
Even if she scrolled.
I guess someone was saying in that TikTok that you had to like, you could turn off the STEM page.
Oh.
Which I should do that. I mean, I don't really end up there accidentally that much.
There
was one time where I was like, why are all these like science or math related? And then I like after scrolling 5 times, I was like, oh, I'm on the STEM tab.
You know what always pops up? Because like, you know how you'll scroll and like every once in a while lives will come up?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many like nursing NCLEX review lives that pop up on my For You page.
That's honestly the algorithm, like what lives pop up. I get so many ASMR lives, like exclusively almost.
I feel like I get every once in a while, but like not as much.
And
as
I
used
hate
to, like.
ASMR. So like, I think it's because I hate watch it. I'm like, I hate this so much that I'm like, like screaming watching it, and then I'm like, I need to get off of this.
I've also seen a lot of like, and this was stuck in my head yesterday, this sound, but the trend where it's like me and the devil.
Oh yeah,
that one keeps. I kind of like, what would be like?
I don't really get it, like, or like how I get it, but like, what would you like if you had to describe that trend to someone? Like, what would you say?
It's just something that like is someone's like the bane of their existence to some extent. I feel like.
Okay.
Fair enough. But it's just like a slide thing. Like I think what always gets me is like whenever I see it's a slideshow, like I'm always naturally like scrolling. So it's like and I know this is the point, but it's like I scroll perfectly with the music without even like trying, you know?
Do slideshows not scroll on their own anymore?
I don't think so.
Because I kind of miss when they would do that and like it would like be timed to like the song.
Yeah. I agree.
What was that TikTok update that happened forever ago that people hated and then they like redid
the audio wouldn't stop playing.
Oh my god,
and it's like overstimulating, overwhelming.
Thank God they changed that.
Yeah.
It was too much.
And what made me mad is that like I could have been the one to post a TikTok about how annoying it was because I was like, why is this happening? Twitter is my next one that I have.
Hold on. I had one other trend, like notable trend. I don't know what the dance is called, but like the one people are like, it looks like a moonwalk almost. But the Juby slide or something.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Anyway, I kind of want to learn it. I saw someone do a tutorial on it, like that popped up on my For You page, but I like was not in a space to try.
I don't know if Vegas would let you, but
I don't know if you would either.
Twitter, I have little to say because like Twitter is very simplistic for me. Twitter/X. What are we supposed to call tweets now? Because are they not called tweets anymore?
I mean, I know like the button says post now, so like if you want to be basic, you can call them posts.
So Twitter for me is also very accurate, and I feel like there's a following and a like recommended tab. Yeah, and I do often find that
I don't even feel like my following would show anything anymore.
Yeah. I do often find that like I'm just on the For You page of Twitter as well, and everything is exactly what I want to see without having to follow all of these accounts. So it works pretty well. Twitter is my sporting persona because that's basically exclusively what my Twitter shows me is anything sports related because that's usually it's the things I'm looking up the most. Like whenever I'm on Twitter, I go on Twitter obviously to like check in the day-to-day stuff, sure, but I'm always on it too during like sporting events, especially Hawkeye football, because I'm trying to see what people are saying about it. And so I get a lot of like Barstool, I get a lot of like ESPN, Sports Center. Like, it's basically it's all football is what it is.
And then our local Hawkeye
Local
pages.
Hawkeye commentators and people like that. Like, every once in a while, pop culture stuff, but, like, it's, like, 90% for me.
I would say that's
Sports.
the same for me. Which then also brings us to just briefly talking about the Iowa game, because my goodness, after here, let's provide some backstory, because not all of you guys are Iowa football fans, which is fine.
It was trending pretty big on Twitter.
So basically,
and I'm not here to say, like, we did not deserve to win the game. So first and foremost, we deserved to lose. But at the end of the game, when there was no hope to be had. No hope.
The score
our offense was doing
was
nothing.
10-12.
We were like -2 rushing
Iowa
yards.
was down. Like 2 minutes left or something.
Yeah. And it's like we didn't have any good field position. Our offense, like, we weren't going to move 5 yards, let alone get to a spot where we could get a field goal. Like, wasn't going to happen. Wish us luck for the rest of the season.
So, special teams and defense did what they always have to do and decided to step up. If anyone was going to get points, it was going to be them. We had
Cooper DeJean. He is the best returner in the Big Ten, at least Big Ten West. But I think they said Big Ten.
Anyway, so we were getting the ball back because I think that Minnesota had just, like, gone through all 4 downs, or, like, gone through all 3 downs, I guess.
And
then they punted it to us. Cooper DeJean catches the ball and runs it in for a touchdown.
He starts running, and I'm like, he's not in a good spot. So I'm like, yikes, like, good luck. But, like, you were our basically only shot, because now you're going to have to be out of bounds or he's going to get tackled, and then our offense has to come back on. And I was like, yikes. And there wasn't, like, time left. Like, our offense, it's doing so badly. They're doing so bad. But by some miracle, and, like, it's so sad it didn't count, because, like, what an impressive
There's a picture that
play.
Someone, like, posted of just, like, the screenshot.
Like, from this position.
Him with, like,
he's
7
on the
people.
edge. Yeah.
And he gets a touchdown. It was crazy. And I was, like, outside because I was letting Vegas out. And I hear Megan screaming. And I'm like, I was good screams.
Screaming so loud. Because in my head, I was like, this is it. This is the last shot we have, because we're not getting close enough for a field goal. Which is so... Can you believe I have to say that? We can't even possibly get close enough for a field goal to win. Wasn't going to happen. So I was like, Cooper, like, you are the last chance that we have. And for him to, like, then return that. And then I kind of was like, he was kind of close to being out of bounds, but, like, they didn't whistle or, like, call him out. So I was kind of like,
they had, after the play, like, they called it a touchdown. Awesome, amazing.
Everyone's screaming,
and then
out.
I think it was PJ Fleck, like, wanted to review, and everyone was under the impression, including I think PJ Fleck himself, to review if Cooper was inbounds or not. Fair. I don't care.
Yeah. And then they start showing, like, they start replaying it, all of that, and, like, the announcers,
like, he is
everyone's
totally
saying,
inbounds.
Like, he's easily inbounds.
So Megan and I are, like, celebrating.
And, like, so the announcers are still kind of talking. We're excited. And then, like, it's kind of like, this is kind of taking a while. Like, what are they still looking at? Because he's very clearly inbounds. This is when everyone finds out about this very obscure rule that whether or not this was the right call is never seemingly enforced.
Anyway. And it was also, like, more confusing having never heard of this call before. So there's this thing in football called an invalid fair catch,
and, like, it's
which is a thing. It is not just saying, like, this is not a valid fair catch. It's its own thing. But having never heard that before, when the referee was, like, saying what happened and why they took the touchdown away and overturned the call, they're like, player did an invalid fair catch, ball was, like, dead
at
or whatever.
Time where he caught it.
And so Megan and I, having never heard that, we were like, didn't you say just said invalid fair catch?
So it is not a fair catch.
So it wasn't a fair catch,
which means he could return it.
So we were really confused.
I mean, announcers were kind of trying to explain it, and they were like, oh, okay, like, we have the understanding here, like, that's the right call, whatever. I was looking stuff up too to be like, what is going on? And I still, because here's what's allowed and what's not allowed, if you guys care. Players can point to the ball. They can lift an arm up and, like, point to the ball or, like, block their eyes from the sun. That's allowed. Because obviously, like, a normal fair catch is, like, raising your arm overhead and, like, waving. And then you can't return the ball. The other arm, or, like, so what I just said, the pointing, that's allowed. You're not supposed to really do anything else lifting the arm above the shoulder, because that would be an invalid fair catch.
The idea being...
That could trick the other team into thinking it's a fair catch, and then,
like,
you're trying to throw them off when they're, like, slowing down, stopping, because they think you caught a fair catch. in my opinion, part of the definition of an invalid fair catch signal was that the other arm is raised above shoulder height. I don't really think he did that, so therefore I still kind of feel like it should not have been, especially like no one was thinking. This was on no one's mind.
This is what is most annoying.
No one was thinking he was doing an invalid fair catch.
Like, the call could have stood and literally no one would have batted an eye.
Right?
Like, Peter Fleck wouldn't have batted an eye.
Yeah,
no one on either audience would have batted an eye. The team, like Minnesota's team, wouldn't have bat an eye because everyone was like, yeah, that's fair.
Like, because you see so many other people do that kind of motion that he did. And, you know, I guess if you want to say, like, it was over shoulder height, which, like, I just think it was so borderline and, like, something that's never called that, like,
it's never enforced. That's the issue. And now, like, I just feel like it, for the rest of, like, the football season, I feel like it's going to have people, like, looking at returners.
Like, to call it on that when it's, like, literally a game-changing play at the end of the game, like, Minnesota still had time. Minnesota would have had time to respond and do something. But
or it's like the other annoying thing, because some people are arguing about like if it was reviewable or not. I've come to find out I think all scoring plays are reviewable.
What about a hold though? If someone scored on a touchdown, you could go back and call a hold. I don't think you can.
Anyway, so there's issues with that too. But what is so annoying, like for me, like that I thought of after the fact, is that had we not gotten a touchdown and like got literally like on the 1 yard line or something, like you can guarantee that no one would have looked at that again. And then we probably could have either gotten a touchdown from there, unlikely with our offense, or like at least a field goal with special teams. And that would have had us win the game.
Because then, hold on. When they call it back, we got our offense on the field, right?
Yes.
And then they did absolutely. Oh, then he turned it over. Then we had an interception. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, look, I'm not here because then people are like, well, your offense still had like your offense still had a chance. And I'm like, I'm not arguing with that. I'm not saying our offense is good and like that we should have won the game. I'm just saying that like it is my opinion that had plays been called like they are normally enforced based off of the rules, that we would have won the game.
And like, what an Iowa thing. Like, what an Iowa way to win. But I'm kind of like, the only way I can like make myself feel better about this is to be like, we didn't deserve to win that game. And like, we can't be going.
And we need like changes. We need to lose in order to like make changes. Because if we had an 11-1 season, like that would have been like
we won the game. Even after that, then it's like, okay, wait, we can't keep justifying this.
So, all that to say, the reason we're explaining this whole Iowa game is that my Twitter, whatever, was entirely filled. Like I could not escape it. But then I kept clicking on stuff too, and I was like, I need to stop doing this, and it stops popping up.
Mm-hmm. Because I was just getting mad.
But now it's just like general sports stuff. So I have escaped the Iowa game, and now it's just back to sports. But it was, like you said, it was causing a ruckus in the sports world.
Next, we'll talk about Instagram. I said for Instagram, I feel like it's kind of 50-50 accurate in terms of like what I would say is like me and like specific to what I'm wanting to see. I did this. I specifically looked yesterday.
Can I go back to TikTok? Curious. I have TikTok. I am seeing so many Harry Jousey and Riley Arnold stuff. Are you on that side of TikTok?
Not frequently.
Because do you know like what's going on with them?
More than just them being dance partners?
Like people think that they're dating.
I mean, I've seen that. Yes.
Okay. Let me just say, I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I don't follow either of those people, and maybe I just like do interact with these TikToks because I'm like curious and stuff. But that is for sure like on my TikTok algorithm is like showing me all that Dancing with the Stars stuff. So I just had to say that before I forgot.
So I technically wrote down what I was seeing yesterday for my Instagram Explore. So I'm kind of curious if this is still accurate. It is. So main things that were kind of like repeatable, like if I refresh the Explore page, this stuff would still pop up. Which seems to still mostly be the case. I don't know why these three things are consistent. Well, one of them I am. Book Talk stuff regularly shows up on my Explore page.
Because Book Talk on Instagram?
Bookstagram. So usually like just like those little graphics, sometimes like actual like real life posts, but a lot of it is like the graphics that are like, you know, if you like this book, read this book, or here's like new releases or whatever else they want to make a graphic about. Those are frequently on my Explore page, and you know what? I'm all for it. Because maybe I'll look at them and get some inspo. The other two things. Sam Hartman is now regularly like I just checked now to be like, was that just a yesterday thing, or like is he on it again? And I refreshed it.
Do you
and
like
there
keep
he
clicking
is.
on stuff with him?
Not, I didn't think so, because I was gonna say like,
You do talk about him more than me.
well, I talked about him yesterday because I
Maybe your
saw
phone's
TikTok.
picking up on that.
I don't know, but because like I saw him on like a TikTok thing too, where it was like someone had like 10 different hairstyles of like him, and they were ranking what they thought was the best hairstyle. And then I'm like, now that there's like a cross algorithm between my apps, because on Instagram I cannot recall. Actually, you know what? You know what it probably was?
Did you search him?
Yeah, that TikTok. After
That'll do it.
after I watched it, I went to his Instagram to like just take a gander. And so I think that must have been it. And it still is like, you know what? We'll give you more.
So for my Instagram explore page, and this like historically has been true, get so much like Bachelor stuff on my Instagram, and I don't watch the Bachelor stuff. Too. Like I don't watch the Bachelor franchise. I don't keep up with any of them. I don't follow any of them. I don't feel like I regularly search for any of them. And so I don't know if it's just like a general pop culture thing that like since I'm a woman within like their age demographic, if it serves it out to me, or if it's like anything that I'm doing specifically.
The other last thing that was kind of like specifically, but non-specifically, keeps popping up is like I'm getting a lot of like wedding posts. Like I don't know these people, but I see their wedding pictures. And yesterday I was also seeing people's wedding pictures. I feel like part of it, not that I really feel like I interact with said posts, but I do always appreciate, like as someone who, you know, one day wants to have a wedding, I do always appreciate like the wedding aesthetic and kind of like what would I envision for myself for my wedding aesthetic. So I feel like that's the only thing that I can think of is like why it would be popping up. But those are my 3 things that I was refreshing, and then I'd find something, and then I was like refreshing again.
Otherwise, I get like a lot of just like general pop culture stuff. So it'll be like, this is Hello Canada Mag, like Yahoo Entertainment, E! News, US Weekly. Like I get like their little picture graphics with their like, you know, link to the article in their bio.
News.
So I feel like I get like a lot of pop culture stuff showing up on my Instagram as well. Sometimes some book stuff too. Some gymnastic stuff that I'm seeing. That's about it right now.
For Facebook, I really kind of feel like I don't know who Facebook is talking to. I don't feel like the algorithm is specific.
Facebook is so weird, which also, because Megan and I, like I scroll through and like there's just random things that like we'll say like suggested or something.
Yeah,
and it's
that
like
was
some
the only
random
thing
page
I was going off of was it suggested for you
that you like don't know how it got there. And like sometimes it's like sports stuff again, so like it'll be like some random group or something that I'm not
like
a part
of it is like any like, you know what I mean by like a Facebook video, like a Facebook kind of like made to be viral video. Like I feel like those are gonna show up on anyone's page.
You know what
matter
gets
who
me?
You are.
You know how Facebook shows reels now too? Like they'll have like a little tab.
It only plays 1 second.
Yes.
And it's like I don't want to click on
Right.
this.
I
I don't want to click on
like,
this.
I don't want to click on
But
it, then I like need to because I need to know what's gonna happen.
Like the first second that they play, it's like it gets.
I'm like I need like one more second.
But I'm really strong. I never click on them.
I don't usually, unless I just need to know. Anyway, I was gonna say it was funny because I would typically say I wouldn't consider my Facebook page to be curated, like you said. But there's one thing I was scrolling past and I was like, oh, like that's kind of funny. I showed it to Megan.
And I thought I had just seen it like yesterday.
And I was like, that's weird because I wouldn't have pictured like a Facebook algorithm to like sync up between the two of us.
I mostly, because I was scrolling through trying to figure out what are the commonalities of things that I'm seeing that are suggested.
A lot of animal stuff, which like gets, I feel like Facebook in general, like people get served animal stuff.
And so, I mean, this was the best I could come up with. I feel like Facebook specifically doesn't seem like it hones you into any like one category. I feel like it keeps things pretty broad and like will serve you a
pop culture stuff. Like
I'm getting wide variety of things.
But I have post.
I said pop culture because again, I do feel like if there's something pop culture, they kind of just like share it with everyone and like spread it to anyone. Some sports stuff, especially like, you know, Hawkeye specific stuff, I feel like I tend to see more of. And then I said random viral videos because like that's just what they post.
I'm seeing like today with Hoda and Jenna talking about like the new Beckham Netflix show. This one is more specific to me. It's one of those group suggested posts. It's the I grew up in Iowa post. And funny enough, this is actually like you and me. We talk about this. It's showing a picture of the Des Moines airport. And when you go through TSA, they have these like shadow boxes of things that you can and cannot bring on your carry-on. And like Meg and I always like joke about them every time we go through TSA, because we're like, oh, well, don't bring your like hammer. Can't bring that. And this was showing an AE ranch dip. And so, oh look, did you see that hammer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew there was a hammer in.
So we joke about that. And so it's just kind of funny that just popped up.
I didn't have anything else about Facebook because, to be honest, I just
Romance
didn't really
book lovers
feel
is popping up on my Facebook. What else? Variety, just some general pop culture stuff. Entertainment Tonight. That just about does it.
Pinterest is one of the ones you can screw up your algorithm so bad, so quick. Like,
is there an incognito mode on Pinterest?
It updates immediately.
You know what is annoying about that?
Which can be good.
It's annoying too.
However, then you're like, okay, I'm like done with this.
You know what's annoying? When you click on a pin and then you like unclick from it and then it refreshes, and I'm like, well, there was two things below that I wanted to look at.
I don't feel like does it do that like every time?
It does it for sure on desktop.
I'm like never on Pinterest on my desktop anymore.
Okay, well, pay attention to that next time.
Because it doesn't do it on my phone, and I'm on my phone usually.
Anyway, it drives me crazy.
Pinterest, I feel like it usually is pretty accurate, and like it shows me what I want to see, especially like considering, you know what, I don't follow really anyone on Pinterest, and like it serves me what I want to see, or I can like search things and then it starts showing me things that I want to see. So in general, I am pretty pleased with said algorithm. However, what's funny, like I said, it's like if you search something and like you're kind of searching on it a little too long, it'll stay. And it's going to stay there for a while.
Because I've done Pinterest stuff for, like, treatment stuff for, like, work. And then I'm like, I do not want to see this on my Pinterest feed right now.
Like, this is not what I'm going for. I'm going for
like,
the
I
vibes.
needed one idea. And, like, now you're, like, serving me, like, occupational... It's always occupational therapy ideas that it serves me. Because I guess no one makes
They're the ones that make
PT.
the blogs.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, I love this. But then it's more annoying when I see something that I do want to click on. And I'm like, I don't want to feed into the algorithm again. But I, like, am curious to actually, like, see what that is. And so like then I need to be like, okay, I need to like go through and like click on 20 outfit pictures and then like something else to like move this out of my feed.
Yeah, update the algorithm yourself. So one of the ones that's kind of like, this needs to get off my For You page, like it's not like the biggest deal, but it's like I did like a campaign with like red, white, and royal blue. And one of my ideas, which I thought was nice and cute, was for one of my story posts, I like curated it and made like a secret board of like red, white, and royal blue like kind of vibes, and like it was a Pinterest board. It was cute, and I thought it was like fun and creative. However, obviously I had to search for red, white, and royal blue specific like things to create the board. And so I am still getting the actors popping up on my Pinterest page even now. So
this is something I got two, as I'm scrolling through my Pinterest, 2 Odd Muse posts popping up. And which we know is accurate because we have been talking amongst ourselves that we're really into those Odd Muse dresses, which are very expensive but very cute. And so I keep like, I always see them on my Pinterest and I've like looked them up, and so it's feeding into my Pinterest further.
I also feel like, so a lot of my Pinterest is also like just aesthetic photos that either I would use for myself or to get inspiration from, or whether I like it or not, it's a lot of like couples photos as well now. And like it's bad because I feed into it when like I have nothing to feed into right now, but like I'll see cute photos and I'm like, that is like, it's a really good
like bookmark
idea.
that for later,
like save that for later. And so I was telling Ciera about this.
Do you save couples photos?
You told me to make a secret board, so I did.
Did I?
Yeah, you said, why don't you just make a secret like soft launch board.
Okay, I think I remember that.
So I did that a couple days ago, and so I'll probably keep getting served the couples photos, but I already was anyways.
But like you have a board now, so you've got a reason for it.
That'll keep showing up on mine for you.
See that? This one's actually PT, I think, but it's like a therapy idea. So, therapy idea, like that's just on my Pinterest now. I've been into like looking more into fall fashion stuff. I sucked at making, like, I started the year with, like, oh, I'm going to make monthly mood boards. I did that for, like, 2 months.
How well has that been going?
And then I fell off. But then I decided to make a November mood board because it was partly, like, mood board / photo ideas. Even though I have a separate, like, photo ideas board, I kind of wanted to, like, make just a specific
for the month, the time
mood
of year.
board. And so, like, the idea, I can pull it up. Because I talked to Megan about this, too, about my November mood board. Because I always have a hard time when it gets to be fall time.
I go into hibernation. My
Social
Pinterest
media
is gone.
blackout.
I've posted the past 2 weekends. Granted, we were traveling, but gotta keep it going. I even was like, maybe we'll go to Ledges this weekend with Vegas, and like that could be a vibe if I have a cute outfit.
Anyway, so part of it is like photo ideas / outfit inspo. I've got some picture ideas with a dog because I have a dog now, and so like, you know, I'm slacking. I thought that like, not that every picture I post is gonna be with Vegas because then it would be way too repetitive. But I thought like for sure, I was like, I've said before I got a dog, I was like, if I get a dog, Instagram's gonna be so easy,
And like,
and it hasn't been. So I got some, you know, photo ideas for
even getting
a dog.
his debut post was like,
It was ridiculous. I don't even love it, but like,
but the world needed to know.
I had to know. I had to post that I got a dog. It'd been like a whole weekend. And then like some general vibes of like mood board for November. I had like some reading stuff because I want to like pick up my reading again, hopefully. Which is like since getting Vegas, I've been like doing an okay job, but like I really want to, you know, Vegas, you chill.
My reading
pick up my
corner
book.
hasn't been able to be used.
And then I put one thing on here of like, it's literally just like a guy and a girl like walking, and like maybe I'll go on a date in November.
We haven't updated you guys on anything in a bit, but like there's been no updates.
Yeah,
unfortunately. You will know when there are updates.
So yeah, that was my mood board so far. Haven't updated it in a couple days, but I'm also just like, I bought I'm getting into like my fall spirit. I'm trying to like lean into fall a little bit more than I usually do.
I got some new jeans from Abercrombie.
I also did because Megan was giving, she was going to return a pair, and so then I just paid for them.
You want them, and then you can pay me back. I'm trying out their relaxed fit jeans instead of the 90s straight. I like both of them still, but I don't know, just for like a little something different. And I got a brown pair of jeans for a little something different. And yes,
I got a sweater. So I went shopping. I went to the mall a couple days ago. I got a new sweater from Dillard's, I think. God, what was the brand? I think it might have been Antonio Milani or something. It's like a tan sweater, like a mock neck with like slightly puffed out sleeves, and like just a good length for like wearing it with jeans. Because I feel like I realized that I need different like sweater lengths to wear with different pants. Like if I want a sweater to wear with leggings, it needs to be longer. If I want a sweater to wear with jeans, it needs to be like shorter, is what I'm saying. And so this one is specifically to be worn with jeans because it's a little bit shorter. It's just cute. So I wore it when we went on our train ride, and then Vegas got it dirty because I had to go get him when he was digging, and like I was so mad at him because I was like,
how dare he?
How dare he do that to me? And then I'm also like in the hunt for a trench coat. So I saw one at Gap that I tried on. I've also seen one at Dillard's. So I may be in the hunt for a trench coat here soon. But I'm just trying to lean into the fall vibes so I can look good, feel good, get good Instagram posts.
I am trying to wrap this up before we have to pause again. YouTube-wise, the algorithm is basically serving me dog videos because that's what we put on the TV for Vegas when we leave. And I feel like it's a lot of book content, a lot of vlogs. The occasional crime and or commentator will be watched, but I've been spending like less and less time on YouTube, unfortunately. I feel like part of that is because like I feel like I don't ever go on my laptop anymore because Vegas does not usually allow me to. So it's just kind of the phase of life I'm in.
My YouTube is the same as yours because we share an account.
Sometimes when we share an account, though, there's different people that like all want to watch.
And we'll literally, oh, you're talking about just like us taking up the other person that we watch.
Like it'll like not show up a new video because it's already been watched in the account, and then I'm like, I have to be like, wait, I haven't seen a video by this person or account in a while.
Yeah.
And then I have to search it. Usually it's like Mia Maples or like the Sorry Girls or like the two that I like I'll think in my head of like, it's not popping up. Where is it?
Or sometimes like I'll see something popping up that like I've never seen before, and it's like keeps popping up. So I'll text Megan and be like, have you been watching like this person lately? I feel like you don't ever do that to me because I don't really watch a ton of new people.
When was the last time you had to question me about what I was watching?
I don't remember, but I know it's like happened where I'm just like, who is this that keeps popping up? Like Kara and Nate or whatever is like the one I can think of most recently, because I was like, I never watched them.
Yeah.
But they kept popping up, and I was like, are you watching someone?
Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Maybe it was insightful, maybe it wasn't, but I think, fun conversation nonetheless.
Let us know what pops up on your For You or Explore pages on different apps. And is it like the same across your apps, or is it like
different people on different
people
apps?
on different apps?
As always, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the video version, or you can, just read our podcast wherever you listen, and we would appreciate that.
Otherwise, we will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.